This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to go for a blast from the past from Masterverse with a Masters of the Universe New Eternia Zodac figure. I think he came out like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago at least, because he's part of the 40th anniversary line, and this version specifically I picked up at Ross for $4. So, you know, it was a good price, although I really need to stop picking up extras when I see them on sale, because if I don't have a use for them. But then again, with the New Eternia stuff, I kind of like the idea of having a version as New Eternia and a version as classic vintage style, which now that they're putting out the vintage style versions, that's kind of a moot point too. Actually, on the side here, it's just his name with Cosmic Enforcer, kind of boring. On this side, we get some more artwork of him, standing there all stoic-like and a big old headshot. And on the back, we get a more action scene with him prepared to blast with Skeletor and He-Man fighting in the background. Zodac, Cosmic Enforcer. Few are more powerful than the omnipotent master of the cosmos, Zodac. As the Keeper PF, the neutral balance between good and evil, the Cosmic Enforcer's universal travels return him to Eternia, home of Castle Grayskull, the nexus of realities, and the center of the multiverse. For a threat to the cosmic balance can come from anywhere at any time. And yet every time we see Zodac in anything, he's always on the side of good, so that's kind of dumb. Also, as the Keeper PF, the neutral balance. Oh, typo. Or, no, that is definitely a P. That's not artwork screw up. That is a typo. So, as the Keeper of the neutral balance. Congratulations, Mattel. Box is already half open, so let's just pull them out. What a face this guy's got, right? Like, this is like RoboCop meets Fish Lips. I don't know. The helmet looks good, but the bit of head that we see there just looks awful to me. Like, I don't know what was going on there. Also looks like he's reusing Skeletor's boots and feet, which is kind of funny considering that he's got regular hands. This dude needs a manicure or a pedicure desperately. That's all I'm going to say. He does come with a spare set of fists. And of course his gripping hands. This one looks like it's designed specifically to... Actually, I don't know why that finger is so far out. It's... Because, I mean, his gun does not have a trigger on it. So, like, why did they do that on this one? I guess the only thing I can really think of is so he can pick his nose. You know? Probably not the real reason for it, but that's just kind of weird. He does come with his Zodac gun, the same one that we had previous. The same style, I should say, that he's had previously. Nothing too special there. Although the barrel does seem kind of smaller than usual. He comes with 2 parts to his staff, so he can use them as separate weapons. And theoretically, it should plug in there. Like so. Of course, this originally came with the 2000X version of Zodac. Although it didn't come apart with his, so he's got 2 clubs or a staff. He's also got this holster on his thigh, which I'm kind of wondering about that. Like, and if we look at this, hopefully it's coming in clear. There is this little peg down there, which I don't see anything on his gun to peg into that. So I'm kind of confused. I thought there would be. Now, if we go like a normal holster, it should fit in here like this, which it actually does kind of fit in there like that. It's not the greatest fit there, I will say, but it's not horrible. I was afraid, I mean, okay, so it does technically fit better like that, but that looks dumb. Now again, just to point out once more, he does not have an actual trigger on that weapon, so I don't know why he's got a trigger finger, especially one that goes out that far. I don't know if that's just like some kind of mistake. Maybe it is just on this figure itself, but considering that on his other hand, all the fingers are joined together, I mean, that is specifically out there for a reason. But then again, if they're reusing Skeletor's parts, maybe that has more to do with Skeletor than it does with Zodac here. But let's go ahead and talk about his articulation. Whoa. Okay. That's going to be interesting. Head is on a ball joint, so we can spin it all around, look down, look up. Kind of feel like he just seems to be standing in a weird position. He can do the chicken neck thing with the G.I. Joes. Arm raises up and down and can spin around. And there goes his shoulder pauldron, which this is what I was kind of mentioning. The shoulder pauldron's attached on his shoulder like this. That is just bizarre. Although I do think I know why they did that, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But that also means that we can just kind of like slide the shoulder pauldrons out of the way and, you know, spin his arm around freely. There is a bicep cut, a double jointed elbow, which does seem to be vanishing from some of the more recent Masterverse figures that we've seen available on the Creations website, which I find a bit disturbing. He does have a waist boob cut here, which is very much hindered by, not so much by the harness, but by the holster attached to his harness. Although the whole thing wanted to come off just now. So that affects the boob cut, and it affects the waist swivel. It does slide down when you go to move the thighs out. It doesn't interfere too badly when you go forward or back, because that's just our normal range of motion there. There's a thigh cut. Ooh. And that is a very loose one after you move it and break the seal. So we have a double jointed knee. If I can bend it, we have a double jointed knee. Oh, screw that. Let's try the other knee. Oh my God. All right, double jointed knee. Boot cut as per usual. We have a hinge and a peg to allow for a spin on the feet. Now, I think the reason why the pauldrons were designed that way was specifically so that you could swap them out with the staff if you wanted. Because remember, and basically in order to make this guy the regular Zodac, you would have just taken off the shoulder pauldrons and taken off the holster if you wanted, which all that messing around with it, it's already coming off. So if we finish pulling that out, pull that out, pull this out. Now we push everything back in place. Maybe we get that back into place. And this gives us our more vintage style Zodac. Aside from the fact that you can't remove the towel in front of his crotch. So overall, as far as the new Eternia stuff goes, not a bad figure. I think I would have preferred if the shoulder pauldrons though attached to the harness at the top instead of doing it this way. Because this would have been nice if we could have had both the shoulder pauldrons and his weapon attached on the back. Which we can't do when we have those. It's not a bad look, honestly, with them. I'm glad the holster works as well as it does. I mean, that could have been an absolute failure easily enough. The one design for Masters of the Universe that hasn't changed in 40 years is the way they design their harnesses to go into place. God, it's annoying still. Overall, I do think this is a pretty nice update for Zodac. He looks pretty good. I like the holster with his gun, and the ability to split the staff into two clubs. The only thing that would be missing would be like an extra handle, like maybe if these folded in so that he could hold them more like a tonfa instead. That would have been pretty cool too. I mean, holding all the weapons like this would have been kind of badass. Aside from the fact that I think the whole point of the Cosmic Enforcers themselves is kind of stupid. Because, again, if they're supposed to bring balance to the Force, so to speak, you never see them doing any villainous things, right? So what's the point? But let me know what you think about this new Eternia Zodac in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching this, enforce that like button. And for more of my nonsense, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.